Hello and welcome to Season 4, Episode 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, I've got the home game against Blackpool in Sky Bet League 2. But before we get into that, let's have a look to see how we got to this point of the season. So, last game, home against MK Dons. This was in the last episode. We were pretty poor. Lost 1-0, never really looked like scoring, which was a little bit unfortunate. And that's been a bit of a theme of our month, really. Apart from that one, I really should look through this before I say things. I remember this game. We went away to Burton. We went 2-0 down. Everyone was sad. I made a few changes. We scored 4 goals. It's the most attacking we've looked all season. And I didn't really make much in the way of tweaks, other than the fact I started listening to my assistant manager's suggestions again during the match. We were, after 13 minutes, we're 2-0 down. I thought, why not? And I think he got us going more direct, lumping the ball forward a little bit more. It's not how I want to play, but we scored 4 goals and it really helped us out in that match. So I think on occasion we might have to take a little bit of notice of what he's got to say. Trying to get players out. Obviously, we've got about 8 centre-backs at the club, so we tried to get rid of Miles Addison, but he's kept up with the tradition now of not wanting to go to other clubs. I don't know if we're paying players too much money. I mean, Addison, it's £850 a month, and that doesn't seem like a huge amount at this level. Perhaps it is. Perhaps we're overpaying. It's not as if I'm just throwing loads of money at players to get them in on free transfers and stuff. I'm going through some, what I think are quite difficult negotiations to get people in for the lowest price I possibly can. But I guess we're still offering way more money than other teams are offering, and it's a bit of a worry because we've now got quite a bloated squad and we're really struggling to get rid of players. We went away to Northampton. We lost 2-1 in that game. We're not playing very well at the moment. I am worried that this is going to be the traditional non-league to legend wheels falling off towards the end of the season type thing. I know I got a promotion in that first season with Boston, but even then, we were quite significantly clear going into sort of February, March time, and really did play poorly for the last few months of the season and just about scraped the title on the last day. And I don't know, we seem to be drifting towards it. I'm starting to worry that with this poor run of form we're on, we could end up missing out on the playoffs altogether, let alone automatic promotion. And that's leading me to start to fiddle, and that's probably only going to make things worse. And we're in that downward spiral again that I'm really struggling to find my way out of. We drew at home to Morecambe. It was 1-1. We had so many shots in this game, but just didn't look like scoring. We're struggling a little bit because Lee Novak's injured, and without him, we don't have much in the way of attacking options. Then this happened, and as you might know, I'm a Posh fan in real life. Usually, when I play these long-term careers, I always keep an eye on Posh with a view to trying to get there at some point. It's not necessarily the end goal, but it's certainly a club I'd like to pass through on the way to legendary status. And they're in the Championship at the moment, but they've drifted down into the relegation zone, and Graham Wesley, the manager, is under pressure. So I, of course, declared my interest in the job, which didn't seem to bother the board. They still consider me untouchable, and are really happy with our league position, which, again, I have to keep remembering. We are punching well above our weight at the moment. We were supposed to be a lower mid-table side at the start of the season. So for it to be March and for us to still be in a playoff spot, we are doing incredibly well. I just can't help but think we could be doing a little bit better, and with the right tweaks here and there, we could still push for it, automatic promotion, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. That made me sad. It looks like I won't be going to Posh this time round. They've laughed off my interest, but at least the Exeter board are desperate for me to stay, so they still love me, even though we're down to 6th in the league now, 35 games gone. So we've got 11 games left, so there's still plenty of time for things to change quite significantly. The title is gone. We're 11 points behind Crewe, but we're only 4 points away from Leyton Orient in 3rd in that automatic promotion spot, and more worryingly, we're only 2 points ahead of Northampton, who are in 8th. So we dropped down there. We're not even in a playoff position anymore. At this stage, with 11 games to go, I could see us finishing as high as 2nd or as low as sort of 13th, 14th, and it really is hard to predict where we're going to end up. So this is the team that we're going to be using today. I'm tweaking things slightly, not so much in the shape of the team, but I'm starting to experiment with some team instructions. I mentioned at the start that, well, as the season has gone on, that as we got more accomplished playing the 3-5-2, I would start to increase some team instructions, player instructions, to try and get them playing the way I want them to play. So we've added in some team instructions now. So we're closing down more, we're playing with a higher tempo, and we're trying to prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Adding into that, I've added a couple of player instructions on. So I've got Christy Pym, the goalkeeper. He's now instructed to roll the ball out to the centre-backs, just because we find ourselves quite often just lumping the ball forward and it not really going anywhere. So we've got 3 centre-backs. Let's use them. Let's get the ball out to them and try and play out from the back a little bit. I've not actually got play out from defence on as an instruction, so perhaps that's something I should put on in combination with that goalkeeper instruction, but I haven't at the moment, so that'll probably come back and bite me. Marlon Pack, I've switched him back to a deep line playmaker from a central midfielder. I realise that's got the potential to slow down our counter-attacks a little bit, but we need to create some chances. I've also got Sam Foley and Asira Osborne instructed to push further forward. But I had a look at our tactical analysis. I don't look at this screen often enough, and this really worried me. Because if you look at, and I thought this was some kind of mistake, because we've been playing the 5-3-2 for 32 games now, and in that time we've created 37 chances and had 32 chances created against us. So at least that's positive. That's usually what I look for. But then I looked further down the screen and there's a 4-4-2. We played this for 9 games and we created 39 chances and had 32 against. Now, I know conceding 32 chances in 9 games is awful. And the one thing the 5-3-2 has really done for us is limited opposition chances to just 1 a game. If you look at the top here, the opposition only get a clear-cut chance against us once every 93 minutes. So there are some games where we're closing them out completely and they're not getting a chance. But we're only getting a chance every 80 minutes. We were getting a chance every 18 minutes playing the 4-4-2, and it was still positive. We were still creating more chances than we were conceding. So part of me's thinking, perhaps I should go back to that. I haven't got the players to go back to it anymore. We've got rid of all our wide players, so it's not really an option for this season. But I am leaning towards this 5-3-2 being a one-season experiment. I don't like playing defensive countering football. I've kind of backed myself into a corner of having to play it for the rest of this season because I don't have the players to play any other shape, really. But I think we're going to be looking to rebuild over the summer, try and get rid of some of these defenders we've got at the club, even though I keep bringing more in. Perhaps bring in a few wide players and look to play maybe a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 next year, and just try and be a little bit more attacking, because it is getting boring. All these 1-0 wins or 1-0 defeats, 0-0 draws, it's not how I like to play football, and it doesn't make for an interesting match or an interesting YouTube series. So let's see how we get on today. Right, I am still doing my own team talks, being nice and brave, so let's passionately say, yeah, come on, show me what you can do. What's that going to give us? See, I still don't know if them being delighted is what I'm looking for. Let's assertively say we need to keep things tight at the back. What's that going to do? See, they're listening to that. I don't really know if that's good. We'll also assertively say we want to control the midfield, and then, I don't know, let's calmly say we want them to grab some goals. There you go. None of them made any difference. I'd love some tips on team talks in the comments. Right, so we're playing slightly more positively, maybe, with Osborne and Foley pushed to get further forward. It might lead to Forrester and McManus not being as isolated as they possibly have been. I'm going to be going with the assistant manager's suggestions. Just because he's gotten so right recently, and I'm struggling to get the team playing how I want them to play. So we've just switched to shorter passing after 8 minutes, which, again, that suits my philosophies, how I like to play football. I'm happy with short passing. Tilney's in a good position there. Oh, Forrester, how did he not win that header? I assumed that was going to be a penalty, but it comes back to Forrester. And we've had a clear-cut chance there after 8 minutes. This is positive. Foley with the corner, the peg, and it's over. I only hope that's not our one clear-cut chance for the game. If we play our average game over the season, we get one every 80 minutes. So if that was that, we're not going to score today. But everything right. Okay, so we're going to make a couple more changes. So I'm not sure what those changes involve. So let's have a look at our team instructions. So we're now working the ball into the box. We've taken off... What have we taken off? Right, no, we're just working the ball into the box. That's fine by me. I can live with working the ball into the box. Again, my kind of football. If we add play the ball out defence on there as well, we really are playing the way I like to play football. Especially if we go more positive rather than the counter-attacking that we've been using. But we're then getting so far away to the system that has served us pretty well this season that it just becomes a bit risky. Because they are, no matter how much I might not find the football particularly satisfying to play, we are massively performing above expectations. So I don't want to fiddle with it too much. Realise that actually we have quite a weak squad, and there's a reason we were predicted to be lower down the league, and we don't have the ability to be the all-conquering attacking side. We're doing well because we can defend well. So yeah, I think we can still win. So let's calmly say, yeah, we can still win today. And yeah, I don't know what I did there, but let's just get on with the match. So let's get a goal in this second half. That's what we're looking for. So Foley got the ball, finds Gale out wide. See, we're passing the ball really nicely today. Gale into Osborne and now Foley. Those two are getting much further forward. I like this. The reason I've prompted them to push further forward is because I had a look at the average player positions, and for our last game, our central midfielder, who was Chris Atkinson in that match, his average position was actually behind our three central defenders, which is awful. How, when you're playing three at the back, how can you possibly have a central midfielder whose average position is further deep than the defenders? We just need to be pushing our midfielders forward. We need to be supporting the front two. We're playing far too deep and far too negatively. And in fact, for these last 20 minutes, I think I might push us on and let's try and control the game, be a bit more attacking. So our strikers are just doing nothing again. We don't even have an attacking midfielder to bring on now. Oh, what to do. Let's make Koulibaly a poacher. We've experimented with this a couple of times. It tends not to work. But with the midfielders pushing on and supporting a little bit more, we might actually get Osborne or Foley behind him with McManus, and he might not be as isolated as he can sometimes get when he plays as a poacher. And we'll bring Jack Rolls on for Marlon Pack. He prefers to play as a central midfielder, so we will do that. And we'll leave it at that for now, will we? Let's have a look at the instructions. I want to exploit the flanks. Let's play out of defence. Let's try and keep hold of the ball and play some good football. We're going to attack him. Well, we're going to control anyway, which is different to what we've been doing all season. Let's try and play some good football and score a goal. That would be marvellous. Blackpool don't look like they've got anything to offer at all. They're probably going to go and score now, but they're a poor side. Foley, cross into McConnell, which reaches the peg, and we are 1-0 up. I mean, let's face it, it was a set piece, a flick on from a centre-back and a finish from another centre-back. Don't think I can take the tactical credit for it, but certainly not to complain that we're 1-0 up. It's exactly what we need for our promotion push. It's a good flick on from McConnell, who is back in the side, by the way, at the expense of Quaid Taylor, who is just that mistake he made in the last live com. He makes them all the time. He's just a really unpredictable defender that doesn't really fit into the counter-attacking system we've been set up to play. We can't afford to have a defender who's going to make a complete howl-up every match. So he's going to be sitting out on the bench for a little while now, I guess. Let's bring Chris Atkinson on for Osborne. Can you play? Yeah, let's put you as an attacking advanced playmaker. Stick you on attack as well, and just try and get someone up behind Koulibaly. Atkinson, I mean, and also the fact that might just stop Atkinson from playing behind the back three, like he seemed to last time he played, which is, I still can't understand how that happened. We probably should have switched back to counter-attacking with us being 1-0 up, but I just want to play some exciting attacking football. I want to see us do something going forward. Probably going to cost us a goal now by making that decision. McConnell intercepts well, finds Atkinson, who finds McManus to Rolls. Koulibaly can't quite get there, but McConnell's won the ball back. He finds Foley. Foley with the flick on. It was good to see Sam Foley that far forward. we are being a little more positive. I just don't know if we're any good at doing it because we keep losing the ball when we get further forward. And, Christy Pym holds onto the ball well. That would have been horrific if we'd have conceded with the last kick of the game. But we've won. I'll calmly say, yeah, well done. Thank you for winning. And that's that. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on future episodes. Thanks very much for watching.